And they're in our phones, our cars, even our refrigerators. But microchips don't often get talked about. That was not the case today in Washington, where Arizona Senators Kyrsten, Sinema, and Mark Kelly touted a law aimed at boosting U.S. chip manufacturing, as Haley Smilow reported from our Washington bureau.
The senators came to today's event, sponsored by the Washington Business Journal and ASU, to talk about the Chips and Science Act that was signed into law last month. But they spent at least as much time talking about how far the U.S. has fallen behind.
We used to make the best chips in the world. We used to have about 40% of the worldwide production. Today it's 12%. But of the best chips in the world, the percentage that is made here in the United States is exactly zero. We have to rely on other countries.
Texas Senator John Cornyn noted at today's event that roughly 90% of chips are made in Asia, and 60% of those come from Taiwan. Lawmakers hope the Chips and Science Act can change that. The $52.7 billion fund will go towards research and development for incentives to encourage expansion of U.S. chip-making capacity and training for the high-tech workers who will be needed.
This is not about investing money in corporations. This is about investing money in our country's future, so that the people that we care about, our kids and our grandkids, that they can take advantage of those opportunities that are coming.
Those jobs could pay well. Kelly estimates that the starting salary for a microchip developer could be $60,000 to $80,000. Sinema sees the Chips and Science Act as a pathway to a brighter future for Arizona and the U.S. That enthusiasm is shared by Bruce Andrews, a vice president for chipmaker in Cal.
CHIPS Act and the Science Act is probably the biggest piece of competitiveness legislation that's been passed in the United States maybe since World War II.
Intel last year broke ground on 2 new manufacturing facilities in Chandler, a $20 billion expansion when fully operational in 2024. The company says the expansion will create more than 3,000 jobs at its Chandler facilities. Kelly says he's confident that chip manufacturing will ultimately provide tens of thousands of jobs in Arizona.
We have, the beginning of what we need to create what will be in Arizona tens of thousands of good-paying jobs, many of which don't require a 4-year degree.
In Washington, Haley Smilow, Cronkite News.
The White House created a Chips for America office to oversee implementation of the Chips and Science Act. This week, it announced the appointment of the officials who will run for that effort from the White House and the Commerce Department.